Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srila Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, can you all hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Is the sound clear?
Recording in progress.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So we will continue our study of Srila Prabhupada's wonderful pastimes, Prabhupada Leelamrita. And the purpose of this studying the book is to get inspired in our devotional life and get motivation, that how Srila Prabhupada, in spite of all the difficulties, progressed in his spiritual life and how we can learn and get inspired through the Prabhupada's life. So in the last week, we learned about how Srila Prabhupada met for the first time Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And that meeting was organized by his friend, who was a very close friend of Abhay Charan. And Abhay Charan didn't want to meet, but then his friend took him to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's ashram in Calcutta. And at that meeting, his friend's name was Naren, and Naren explained to Srila Prabhupada that the sadhu Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a great Vaishnava, great devotee of Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he was not like any other ordinary sadhus which Abhay would have seen. But Abhay was skeptical, and in spite he was skeptical, his friend Narendra Malik, he insisted that he come with him to visit Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And at the first meeting only, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, even before these two young men, Abhay and Naren, could sit, they were still standing. And as soon as they entered, the first instruction which was given by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was that you are a young, educated man. And why don't you preach Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message all over the world? And Abhay Charan at that time was really surprised, and he said, I haven't even talked to him, and he is giving us the instruction. And then Abhay Charan had a question that who would listen to the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when India was struggling with independence movement, right, from the British. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained that Bhakti, Krishna Consciousness cannot wait for any ruler to come in. Bhakti is the ultimate path. So then Srila Prabhupada was convinced, and the effect on the Abhay was that Abhay Charan, he felt that he was defeated while he was arguing with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was questioning actually that who would listen, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur emphasized that there was urgent need to render the highest devotional service, and hence this spread of Krishna consciousness was very urgent need of the society. And Srila Abhay at that time was convinced, and then that was the first meeting, and after that he did not meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for a long time. because Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was also traveling, and Srila Prabhupada at that time, Abhay Charan, he was also busy establishing himself. His father had appointed him with Bose Laboratory, and Abhay Charan at that time decided that okay, he will start his own business. And in 1923, Abhay Charan he went to Allahabad at that time, and there he established Prayag Pharmacy. And he and his wife and a child, they moved there. And there Abhay Charan was selling medical items, and he was working with a doctor who was a family doctor, who was Dr. Ghosh. So in that same pharmacy, Abhay Charan used to dispense the medicine, and Dr. Ghosh used to prescribe the medicine. And then Abhay had got another child, and because of his business related things, he had to travel very often. So he didn't see his Guru Maharaj for a long time. And in Allahabad, in Prayag, Gaudiya Math was there, and the Gaudiya Math devotees used to visit Abhay's pharmacy. So one day, one Gaudiya Vaishnava, Bhaktivedanta Maharaj from Gaudiya Math, came to his pharmacy, and Abhay invited even him to his home also. And in 1930, Abhay's father, Gaur Mohan Dey, passed away. So that is where Abhay was now, he was suddenly felt that, that he was by himself now. And in this way, Abhay was carrying out his routine work at, at his pharmacy, traveling all over. And also in between, he was visiting Gaudiya Math and helping them out in whatever the way he can. So that is up to the third chapter we summarized, we learned last week. Now today we are going to learn Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita, fourth chapter, titled as How Shall I Serve You? The beginning of the chapter is with this sentence actually, and this sentence is by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur in a letter to Srila Prabhupada in 1936. So maybe I request Vidura Prabhu to read this if you can.
Sure, Prabhuji. Order. I have every hope that you can turn yourself into a very good English preacher if you serve the mission to inculcate the noble impression of Lord Chaitanya's teachings to the people in general as well as philosophers and religionists.
Thank you,
By
Prabhu.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So this is the beginning of this chapter, and what we are going to learn in this chapter is more in depth about Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, more in depth about relationship, how Srila Prabhupada developed close relationship with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur over the period of years. Even for 10 years almost, he didn't meet his Guru Maharaj. First meeting in Calcutta, and then he didn't meet for a long time. In between, Prabhupada is busy, Abhay Charan is busy with his pharmacy business, looking after the family. And this is the last instruction which is Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave to Prabhupada at the end. So we're going to learn throughout, and we will learn how Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur developed the mission, how he preached, how his preaching was different than the previous acharyas, and what mood Srila Prabhupada imbibed from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and what mood we can imbibe from the life of previous acharyas, Vaishnava Parampara. So actually, this chapter also will connect us with our Parampara, that what is our Parampara, where are we coming from? This is a very, very interesting learning, that how we are connected to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur through this chapter. Very, very interesting, and I'm sure it will inspire all of us. So with your permission, then we will read. As I said that Srila Prabhupada, Abhaycharan didn't meet. First meeting was in Calcutta in 1922 with Naren Malik, was the one. And then after that, Srila Prabhupada, Abhaycharan was traveling. But then in 1932, almost 10 years after, Abhaycharan came to know that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is visiting Vrindavan. He is conducting a month-long Vrindavan Parikrama in the month of Kartik, in the October month. And he will be visiting there with all his hundreds of disciples. And Abhay had a very busy schedule because he was traveling, he was running a pharmacy business. But he had a desire to meet his Guru Maharaj. Like he hadn't taken Diksha as of now, he had just met him once, but in his mind he had accepted him as a Guru. And he decided, okay, he will meet somehow or other, he will travel, plan his traveling schedule for his business in such a way that he could meet at least 1 or 2 days, if not entire month of pilgrimage of Kartik Parikrama. So in 1932, Abhaycharan, he decided that okay, he will meet Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the Parikrama in Vrindavan. But near to Vrindavan, there is a place called as Koshi. And this is where he decided to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for the second time. So this Parikrama, Vrindavan Parikrama, was the part of mass preaching project of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Prior to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, all the Vaishnavas, they avoided going to the populated places. And there was no mass preaching movement as such. And most of the Vaishnavas, they stayed at secluded place and they practiced there. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's aim was worldwide preaching. This was like a very novel idea that he had, that he wanted to spread message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world. And that one of the project of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was to conduct this parikrama in Vrindavan as a means of mass preaching, spreading his emphasis. Like his emphasis was spreading devotional service widely, teachings widely. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, even he introduced the idea, which was different than the previous preceders, acharyas, that devotees could even live in a big palatial buildings or temples. Right? All the previous acharyas, we can see that all the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates, they used to live in a very humble surroundings. Like they used to stay in underneath a tree. But Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is very different. And even in 1930, with the help of donations raised, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had constructed a very large marble temple in Big Bazaar section of Calcutta. So in this way, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a very revolutionary preacher. And he introduced this concept of Yukta Vairagya, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur demonstrated that although a devotee should not spend a cent for his own sense gratification, he could spend millions of rupees for the service of Krishna. So this was a very different idea than the previous acharyas. And in that same spirit, he established this big temple in in Calcutta in Big Bazaar. And in that big temple, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur displayed exhibition, a series of dioramas which were very finely finished, painted, and they were like very nicely dressed. So, and then he invited all the artists from different traditional art, and they elaborately displayed Vaishnava philosophy and pastimes of Lord Krishna, which was never done before. So this was a unique idea. And what we see in Srila Prabhupada's preaching method also, we can see the same reflection which Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was different than the previous acharyas in the sense that he used the modern technology like printing press for preaching the mission, preaching the message of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And even he did not hesitate to ride in the best conveniences. He was using some of the best available transportation methods at that time. Like somebody offered a very nice expensive car for him to travel to go to holy place, he would not refuse that. And he was different than other previous acharyas that he would wear a sewn cloth. You know, for sannyasi, a stitched cloth they never wear. They wear just a simple dhoti and a cloth on the top. But that's where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur introduced, or live in opulence, but not for sense gratification. That is for service of Krishna. And so in this way, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very different and unique from the previous acharyas. And this printing part was also very unique. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur started a daily, like there were daily printing of the magazine or a newspaper type of thing. It's called Nadia Prakash. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there were many newspapers in Calcutta at that time, and somebody asked them, well, why are you printing a daily newspaper like this when there are many newspapers like that? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur defended that idea, saying that there is a need, because there is lots of topics of devotional life which needs to be discussed. So he published that for the readers. He also published a magazine which is called Harmonist Magazine. And in this newspaper and magazine, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur advertised his Parikrama actually. So this is one of the advertisement, Parikrama advertisement in the newspaper. This was something revolutionary. Nobody had advertised the devotional service in the newspapers before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came. So here is one of the advertisement. Surendra Prabhu, you want to read this advertisement for us?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Confabulation. I'm just trying to find the exact circumambulation of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam.
Yeah, correct. This is an advertisement, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to go to the exact place. Just be okay, here I go. Circumambulation to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. His Divine Grace, Paramahansa Śrīmad-Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Goswami Maharaj, the spiritual head of the Madhva Gaudiya Vaishnava community, following Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, has been pleased to invite cooperation of all persons of every nationality, irrespective of caste, creed, color, age, or sex, in the devotional function of circumambulation of the holy sphere of Braja in the footsteps of the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, who exhibited the Leela of performing the circumambulation of Sri Braj Mandal during the winter 1514 AD. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So we can see that this was an advertisement placed, and unique thing about it is that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur invited everybody, irrespective of nationality, caste, color, creed, age, this was a unique where he said everybody is most welcome to participate in the Sankirtan movement, and that is what Srila Prabhupada carried in the mood. Now, Srila Prabhupada, as he had a desire to meet his Guru Maharaj, so he decided that he will meet, at least at that time, Abhay decided that he will travel. Srila Prabhupada says here, Guru Prasad Prabhu, you want to read this? Prabhuji is not here. Mamtaji, you want to read this?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad.
Desire to meet Guru. Srila Prabhupada, I was not initiated at that time of the Karma, but I had very good admirations for these Gaudiya people. They were very kind to me, so I thought, what are these people doing in this Karma? Let me go. So I met them at Kashi.
Thank you, Mataji. So Prabhupada writes here that he was not initiated at that time, but he had a very good admiration for the devotees of Gaudiya. But here we can see that this, even though Prabhupada had not met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for 10 years, but constant touch of devotees from Gaudiya in Allahabad, while he was running his pharmacy business, kept Prabhupada in touch with the Guru Maharaj. So we can see that there's a small little connections there, which helped Prabhupada to have this desire to meet him during the Parikrama mark. So he decides, okay, he will plan his business in such a way, business travel, that he can travel to Vrindavan on his visit to Allahabad. And this is one of the method of preaching, which we can also learn, that we can keep people who are not even coming regularly, we can go to their place and talk to them and keep them informed like this. So this Parikrama organization was established by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, was very, very systematic, very efficient actually. So they had an advanced group in the Parikrama organization, where advanced group will do work of bringing all the beddings and tents. They would travel ahead for the next day locations where they would make the camp, set up the kitchen, so like that. And then there was a main party. So what would main party would do? So they would carry the deity of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and then they would have Kirtan singers, and they would all visit the places of Lord Krishna Chaitanya, Lord Shri Krishna's pastimes, and then after arriving, traveling, they will arrive in the night time to the camp. And there were at the night time there were hundreds of camps, and everybody would stay there. And there were separate camps for the ladies and men. It's a very, very systemic organization. There were volunteers, guards who will stay up all night patrolling the area. So and then there used to be classes given by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Everybody used to rise early in the morning, chant together, carrying the deity of Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So in this way, Abhay observed this, and he was very, very impressed with the systematic organization of this Sankirtan pilgrimage. And then Abhay meets, he arrives in Mathura by the train from Allahabad and takes a rickshaw and approach to Koshi by the rickshaw. And there he's meeting Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur after a long, long time. So here, while he comes there, now he comes to meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur in a professional dress, in a Western dress. He's not initiated at this time. He's not wearing dhoti, kurta or tilak. And he's there as a sort of an outsider. He was not completely outsider, but sort of like he was not a part of the intimate group of Gaudiya Math. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada had a choice actually. So everybody, there was an announcement that next day Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur is going to travel back to Calcutta. So and he will be giving a lecture on that particular evening when Abhay arrived there. And there was another choice that people can go for Parikrama, or as people can sit there for the lecture. And here is a quote by Srila Prabhupada. Sujata Mataji, you want to read this?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada. So I met them in Kosi, and Keshava Maharaj was informing that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is going to Mathura tomorrow morning, and he will speak Harikatha this evening. Anyone who wants to may remain, or otherwise they may go to see Sannyasi Vishnu. So at that time, I think only 10 or 12 men remained. Sridhara Maharaja was one of them, and I thought it wise. What can I see at this Shesha Sai? Let me hear what Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati will speak. Let me hear.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna. So here we can see that Srila Prabhupada had a choice whether to go. He is coming here after a long time. First Vrindavan visit of Srila Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, was also very brief visit to Vrindavan, and this is his second visit to Vrindavan. First visit was his while he was traveling on the business. He came to Vrindavan for one day. At that time, he had no other connection with any devotees. He just came and left. And now this is the second visit. This is a planned visit. He wanted to see Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And here he had a choice to go on the Parikrama, see the Vrindavan, or sit and listen to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Abhay decided to sit there. And he listened very carefully to Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's profound philosophical discourse. And at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur talked about Sambandha, Avideya and Prayojan, which explains the stages of devotional life, how it can lead to pure love of Godhead. Despite being an outsider among all the 10-12 people who were sitting there, some of them were sannyasis, Abhay was very captivated by the instructions of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And this interaction strengthened his faith and understanding about Krishna consciousness. And also, he could strengthen his relationship with his Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So then next day morning, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left from Vrindavan to Calcutta. And at that time, everybody gave farewell to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Abhay was also part of that. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, a month after, so after this, then Abhay returned back to Prayag. But then at that time, after a month, almost in the month of November, in the same year, 1932, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was coming to Allahabad, Prayag, in the Gaudiya Math for installation at the cornerstone laying ceremony for the new Gaudiya Math premises. So that was in November 1932. So almost a month after. So at that time, Abhay was told by devotees in Gaudiya Math that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will be giving Diksha, initiation. So Abhay thought, oh, it will be a good idea to take Diksha. Like actually, Abhay was trained by his father, Gauramohan Day, in Krishna Consciousness. But Abhay had not taken formally Diksha. So when he was informed by the Gaudiya Vaishnavas okay, that he is going to give Diksha, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is going to give Diksha, then Abhay said, okay, this is a good opportunity. And he already had accepted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur as his guru in his mind. So now it's a formality that he can establish that relationship. So at the cornerstone laying ceremony of Sri Rupa Gaudiya Math in Allahabad, in November 1932, Abhay took the Diksha from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. You can see in the picture Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur giving the Diksha, and all sannyasis are standing behind him. Now, when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was told that Abhay would like to take the Diksha from you, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur acknowledged that yes, I know this person. What did he say? He said, yes, he likes to hear. He does not go away. I have marked him. I will accept him as my disciple. And he offered Abhay both initiations at the same time. You see, both initiations mean Harinam Diksha and Brahman Diksha. Both the Dikshas in same sitting. That is not heard of before that. Devotees usually took first Harinam Diksha, and then after a few months or few years, they would get Brahman Diksha, which gives them a right to go on the altar and do deity worship. But here, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur acknowledged Abhay's sincerity and attentiveness, and he accepted him as his disciple, and giving the connection, spiritual connection, both Harinam and Brahman Diksha, same sitting, which is very unique. And he gave him a spiritual name. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur added Aravinda, lotus, to his name. Now he was Abhay Charanaravindha. So Abhay Charan now become, after Diksha, Abhay Charanaravindha. Now at this Diksha ceremony, Abhay Charan's sister and his brother both were present. Abhay's wife, Radharani, didn't come for Diksha. And after Diksha ceremony, then Abhay Charan used to visit Gaudiya Math quite often, and he would bring the devotees there to the Gaudiya Math, his friends and everybody. At the initiation ceremony, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur instructed Abhay Charan to study Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which is the law book for the devotional service, and Abhay Charan would study that very carefully. He was glad to increase his visit to Allahabad Center and to bring new people. So Abhay Charan sometimes used to invite also his other devotees at his home, and he discussed sometimes with his wife about inviting the devotees, bringing them, giving prasadam, kirtan. And Abhay Charan was very enthusiastic, but his wife, Radharani, was not so enthusiastic about all this. Abhay's spiritual enthusiasm, she was not that much. So Srila Prabhupada writes here, maybe Vidura Prabhu, you want to read this?
No, Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada, my wife was a devotee of Krishna, but she had some other idea. Her idea was just to worship the deity at home and live peacefully. My idea was preaching.
Yeah, you see, thank you, Prabhuji. So there is a difference here in thinking of devotional life also. Some devotees are bhajananandi, they try to stay in isolation, while Prabhupada had already imbibed the mood of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is such an amazing thing. You know, we all are in this mood of spreading Krishna consciousness. We are all into the preaching mission. Our idea is to go above and beyond our limits. We want to solidify our sadhana. We want to be very pakka devotee. we don't want to give up our sadhana, but at the same time, we want to have this mood of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, who was different than his precedents by going mass preaching, worldwide preaching. And Srila Prabhupada also had the same desire to spread the Krishna consciousness message. So now Srila Prabhupada met Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur again for the third time now in Allahabad, and he took the Diksha from him. But now he had a more desire. How can he meet Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? Now headquarters of Gaudiya Math are in Calcutta. So now Abhay Charan is staying in Allahabad for a business, for Prayag for his business. But then he said, okay, I can travel to Calcutta for the business, and in that business, his main purpose was that he can meet his Guru Maharaj. So over the next 4 years, he managed to travel to Calcutta very often to see his spiritual master for at least about a dozen times. Now, his pharmaceutical business, he was also doing it, and he was trying to meet his Guru Maharaj also. Now, during this time, Abhay Charan, he was not a leader of any Gaudiya Math or inner management. He was just like a visitor. Now he was a devotee visiting the Gaudiya Math, helping them out what are the best way he can. And he was also householder, occupied his own business, looking after the family, living like a normal life, right? Any normal person. And he never lived in the Gaudiya Math also, except sometimes when he went to Calcutta for a brief visit. But he had now developed a close relationship with his Gaudiya Math devotees and with his spiritual master, because and one time when he visited Gaudiya Math, Chaitanya Math, there was a large poisonous snake. It came out in front of Abhay Charan. And at that time, everybody was watching there. Abhay Charan loudly shouted, this was a poisonous snake. And everybody was surprised, what should we do? What should I do? And at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came out on the veranda, hearing the loud sound of shout of Abhay Charan. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur immediately said, kill it. So when Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur ordered to kill the snake, Abhay Charan was a little surprised. So here is a quote, a very nice quote. Sujata Mataji, you want to read this?
Srila Prabhupada. So I thought, how is it that Guru Maharaj ordered the snake to be killed? I was a little surprised. But later on, I saw this verse and then I was very glad. Modeta sadhur api Vrichika Sarpa Hatya. Even saintly persons take pleasure in the killing of a scorpion or a snake. It had remained a doubt how Guru Maharaj ordered the snake to be killed. But when I read this verse, I was very much pleased that this creature or creatures like the snake should not be shown any mercy.
So here, Srila Prabhupada is learning small concepts from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, which are very difficult to understand, but we can learn that from the behavior of previous acharyas. So Prabhupada learned this from Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So now, slowly and steadily, Abhay Charan is developing close relationship with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He is visiting, whenever he visits Calcutta, he visits Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Srila Prabhupada said that whenever I met my Guru Maharaj, he would always treat me very affectionately. There was a special connection between Prabhupada and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Sometimes my god brothers would criticize because I would talk a little freely with him, and they would quote this English saying, "Fools rush in where angels fear to tread." But I would think, fool? Well, maybe, but that is the way I am. My Guru Maharaj was always very, very affectionate to me. When I offered obeisances, he used to return dasosmi. So a very nice relationship between Srila Prabhupada and his Guru Maharaj. And he would treat him very, very specially, once there is an incident mentioned that Prabhupada, Bhagavad Charan, Srila Prabhupada entered into the room of Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. And everybody, all the sannyasis and everybody were sitting, and everybody was sitting on the ground, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was sitting on a chair, on a couch. And Abhay also took a seat next to his Guru Maharaj on an equal level. But then he noticed that, oh, I made a mistake, because you should not sit on the same couch as your Guru Maharaj. So then he learned that, and then that time Abhay kept the seat, and Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur also didn't say anything to Abhay Charan at that time. But then Abhay never did that again, to sit on the equal level with the spiritual master. So, but there was a very special bond between Abhay Charan and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's method of preaching was also very bold. Srila Prabhupada says here, Guru Prasad Prabhu, you want to read this?
Okay, Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada, my Guru Maharaj's contribution is that he defeated the caste Goswamis. He defeated this Brahminism. He did the same way as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Kiba Vipra Kiba Nyasi Sutra Kene Naya, Hare Krishna Tattva Vitti Se Guru Haya. There is no consideration whether one is a sannyasi, a brahmana, a sudra, or a grahastha. No. Anyone who knows the science of Krishna is all right. He is Goswami and he is Brahmana.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's method of preaching was very bold. He was against the theme of you becoming Brahmana, being born in the family of Brahmana. So, as he was against the big flow of people there, in a private meeting with Abhay Charan, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had told Abhay that he's taking a very big risk by his bold preaching, actually. Actually, some of this Gaudiya Math, some of this people outsiders who were against Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, they even conspired to kill Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Once they conspired to kill him, my Guru Maharaj told me personally, by his grace, when we used to meet alone, he used to talk about so many things. He was so kind that he used to talk with me, and he personally told me that these people, they wanted to kill me. Actually, the incidents mentioned in the Prabhupada Lilamrita is that even one time they collected about 25,000 rupees to bribe a police officer in charge of the area. And they said to the police, the people who wanted to kill Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that you take this 25,000 rupees, we will do something against Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and you don't take any steps. So that police officer understood that they wanted to kill him. So police officer came to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur and he said, of course, I have accepted the bribe, but not for you. We couldn't do this for you. You are such a saintly person. So you please take care. And in this way, he was protected by the police officer also. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very bold. He was not scared of anybody. He took risk and preach whatever is to be told to the people on the right on their face actually. He was like a Simha Guru. Simha Guru is Lion Guru. So, Vidura Prabhu, you want to read this?
Sure, Prabhuji. Simha Guru, Srila Prabhupada. When my Guru Maharaj was present, even big scholars were afraid to talk with even his beginning students. My Guru Maharaj was called living encyclopedia. He could talk with anyone on any subject. He was so learned and no compromise. So-called saints, avtaras, yogis, everyone who was false was an enemy to my Guru Maharaj. He never compromised. Some God brothers complained that this preaching was a chopping technique, that and it would not be successful. But those who criticized him fell down.
So you can thank Prabhuji. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur method of preaching was chopping. Chopping is he never used to compromise on anything. One time he saw someone who was proponent of impersonal philosophy, Mayavadi philosophy. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to call that person and say that why are you cheating with this people with this Mayavadi philosophy? And he would often tell his disciple that no, we should not compromise. Why should we go to the places and just try to flatter the people, speak the things which is not truthful? Rather than that, even though it might be sometimes painful, but we must speak the truth. No flattery. He never compromised. He said, don't compromise for the donation. Sometimes somebody used to donate and he used to ask some Mayavadi things, and Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to refuse them. So like that. So Srila Prabhupada understood this concept of bold preaching from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Do not try to see God, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur would say, but act in such a way that God sees you. So this was some of the instructions which Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur gave to Srila Prabhupada personally, and Srila Prabhupada kept that with him. One time, Subhash Chandra Bose, who was the great freedom fighter, came to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and at that time, Subhash Chandra Bose told Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that so many young people are joining this Gaudiya Math, and they're doing nothing for the country's freedom. So actually Subhash Chandra Bose was criticizing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur for inspiring young youths to join Krishna Consciousness. So at that time the freedom movement was going on. So to answer him, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur replied. He said, Surendra Prabhu, you want to read this sentence of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur? It's on the screen.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Meeting with Subhash Chandra Bose. My Guru Maharaj replied, well, for your national propaganda, you require very strong men. But these people are very weak. You can see they're very skinny. So don't put your glance upon them. Let them eat something and chant Hare Krishna. In this way, he avoided him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very nice conversation. No? So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur didn't confront him, but he said, oh, these people are skinny, they don't have much to do. How are they going to fight with you in the military? Right? So just let them chant Hare Krishna. So like that. So we can see that Srila Prabhupada also met quite a few political leaders, and he learned all this from his Guru Maharaj. This is how Srila Prabhupada's life is being molded by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. In considering whether, so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was a publisher, printer, and what article should be published in his Harmonist magazine. So he said one criteria. What was the criteria? Whether the essay were worthy of publications or not, he would count how many times word Krishna or Chaitanya had been used in that writing. If those holy names had been quoted sufficiently, he would say, okay, that's all right then, print it. So that was the very simple criteria, whether the article is good or bad for the publication. More the time Krishna and Chaitanya name comes, that I say no problem, print it. So this is the so Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established this message in the life of Bhagavad Charan, that a person must have a life to be a preacher. A dead man cannot preach. So Abhay Charan learned this preaching inspiration from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mood. And so he would send his disciples to go and preach, go and preach, go and preach. And sometimes some of the preachers who go for preaching and no one comes for the meeting, nobody's there to attend the meeting. So then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say, that doesn't matter. The four walls will hear you. That is sufficient. Do not be disappointed. Go on chanting, go on preaching. And in this way, he spread the message that preaching is the main thing. Sometimes devotees would give up the preaching and they would sit in the solitary place for the meditation. Now, if devotee does that, then Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur considered that as a method of cheating by those devotees by imitating the great saints in hope of getting cheap adoration. Therefore, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur didn't approve that isolated meditation. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur even wrote a poem. It's a Dushtamana Tumi Kisera Vaishnava. Mamtaji, you want to read this?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. My dear mind, what kind of Vaishnava are you? You are chanting Hare Krishna in a solitary place and imitating the great saints Haridas Thakur and Rupa Goswami. But your meditation is actually to think of woman and the money. Your mind is filled with such dirty things. So your bhajan is simply cheating.
So this is Dushtamana Tumi Kishera Vaishnava. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur did not approve of staying in a solitary place and doing preaching. No, that is and doing your bhakti. He said, main thing is to go out and preach. So Srila Prabhupada says that I never asked my Guru Maharaj a question, except the question I asked is that how shall I serve you? So whenever Prabhupada was there, during the conversations also, Prabhupada never asked a single question during the lectures or anything. But only question he asked was, how can I serve you, Guru Maharaj? Because Srila Prabhupada was all the time, he was thinking how can I help them in preaching? Now, as of now, Srila Prabhupada, he is doing business in the pharmacy of Dr. Bose, and he's traveling and spreading his business also at the same time. And his idea was that he didn't want to join full time as a devotee. He was thinking, let me first of all become a very rich man. Srila Prabhupada said here, but my Guru Maharaj ordered me, you do this. But I thought, let me first of all become a rich man, then I should do. In the beginning, I was thinking, now my godbrothers have taken sannyas. They're begging from door to door. Why shall I beg? Let me earn money and start Krishna consciousness. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had ordered in the first meeting to spread a message of Krishna consciousness all over. But he always thought that, okay, I will do this later on. Let me first become a rich man. I will make money. I will contribute my money to Krishna consciousness. And then I will do the preaching work later on. So Prabhupada, Abhay Charan was getting big success in his business. Now the Prabhupada, Abhay Charan, he was traveling, and the biggest pharmaceutical company in India, in Bengal, they made offer now to Abhay Charan to join their company, because he was working for Dr. Bose laboratory, and the company was progressing. And at that time, one astrologer even had predicted that Abhay Charan would become India's richest man. And in this way, Abhay Charan was very successful in his business. But what happened is that while he was spreading the business of this Dr. Bose laboratory, some people, they did not return the money to the Dr. Bose laboratory. So the payments began to fall behind, and lots of debt accumulated with the Dr. Bose laboratory. And the debt in total was about 10,000 rupees at that time. And Abhay Charan was not sure how to collect that money back from Dr. Bose laboratory. So there was Dr. Ghosh who was working. He said that he's a very honest man. It is no fault of him. In a good faith, he gave all these chemist drugs and credits, but he can't realize the money. So Prabhupada he was traveling, he was increasing the business, but then they were not returning the money which he owed to them. And the laboratory didn't belong to Abhay Charan, it was belonging to someone else. So then everybody was against Abhay Charan at that time. So Abhay Charan was relieved from his duty. He was now jobless actually. So Dr. Bose, who owned the Prayag pharmacy, he said, okay, Abhay, I will settle the matter. You are unemployed now from our lab, our pharmacy, and you do whatever you want to do. I will let you go without any money. So in this way, Abhay Charan was without job. Now he had to maintain the family. So Abhay Charan lost the job. So he decided to start his own pharmaceutical company in Bombay. And so he moved from Allahabad to Mumbai. But his family, like wife and children, they remained in Prayag, Allahabad. And there in Bombay, he traveled on a business trip. Abhay met some of the members of the Gaudiya Math. In Bombay, he started a small manufacturing company, and he rented apartment, and he used to stay there with his brother. And Allahabad also, he set up a small operation, and that operation was operated by his nephew. So, and at the same time, while Abhay Charan was working in Bombay and starting his own business, he was also working with another pharmaceutical company, which was it's a Smith Institute. So he is doing a job with the Smith Institute. He is doing his manufacturing of pharmaceuticals in Mumbai, and pharmaceuticals in Prayag also he is doing the manufacturing. So like he is very busy now, and also at the same time he is helping Gaudiya Math people by donation and by bringing the people to the temple in Mumbai. You know, in Mumbai also there was a Gaudiya Math devotees, so Abhay Charan visited them, and they helped them to collect the funds. And also he helped them to establish Gaudiya Math Center in Mumbai also. So Abhay Charan was helping them. So Abhay Charan, he helped, so Srila Prabhupada said, we made a party for collecting alms. Sridhar Maharaj, Swami Maharaj, and myself. I took them to some of my chemist and doctor friends. And 2 days we collected 500 rupees. Sridhar Maharaj would speak, I would introduce, and Swami Maharaj would canvass. So in this way, they were doing fundraising for Mumbai Center. They wanted to establish a center in Mumbai. So he was very much expert at fundraising part also. So one time in Calcutta, there was Vyasa Puja ceremony of his Guru Maharaj, Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. At that time, Abhay Charan, in 1935, February 25th, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati's 62nd birthday, at Jagannath Puri, where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was residing, the devotees observed the day with the ceremony. At the small Bombay center, the few disciples planned an evening observance and invited local people. For that occasion, Abhay wrote the poem. So Vyasa Puja ceremony was in Mumbai, and Abhay wrote first time a poem for his Guru Maharaj, and very nice poem. It's a very big poem. So you can read from the Prabhupada Lilamrita, because the time is very short for us today to finish for today's session. But very nice poem, and here is the poem. I'm just and then after submitting that poem, he gave also speech, and his poem and the speech were sent to the Harmonist magazine, and it was Abhay's first publication, and it declared him as a competent writer in English, and Swami Bhakti Pradita Tirtha, editor of the Harmonist magazine, informally dubbed Abhay Charan as a Kavi, as a learned poet. And then Abhay Charan's godbrothers also picked up the name Kavi, and they used to call him Kavi actually. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he heard about this poem and the message, he was very happy. And he showed this poem to all the guests, and it was published in the magazine. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur found the poem and the essay very pleasing, and he showed it to some of his confidential devotees. And he instructed the editor of Harmonist, whatever he writes, publish it, whatever Abhay Charan writes. Now, Abhay Charan also, now at the Smith laboratory, he had a job, but some of the competitor caused him to lose again another chance to become wealthy. The enemy was the son of Abhay Charan, supervisor at Smith Institute. Both son and father complained to the Smith Institute executive that Abhay Charan Day was pushing goods from his own laboratory and not Smith's. So it was not the case, but they falsely complained, and Abhay lost the second job also. So now Abhay Charan is in little financial trouble. At the same time, Abhay's wife, the business was not doing great. Abhay's wife was also, one second, I missed it here. She was disturbed over the business loss and apathetic to the spiritual success of Abhay. She wanted to stay with him in the orbit of home and family, and despite Abhay's suggestion, she refused to accept the initiation. So his wife was reluctant, and meanwhile Abhay Charan was studying the scriptures. He was studying Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and commentaries by great acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So Abhay's spiritual progress is going on. He is helping Gaudiya Math to establish the center, fundraising, studying the spiritual principle, associating with the devotees. While reading the Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary, he heard that the disciple should consider the order of spiritual master to be his life and soul. And these words produced a great deep effect on Abhay, strengthening his desire to serve Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's mood of serving him. So meanwhile, he is losing his job, he is losing in business, and he is progressing in bhakti. So gradually, he is feeling strange, and he was reading one time Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 10th canto, and he came across a verse. Abhay Charan came across the verse from 10th canto, where Lord Krishna says that when I feel specially merciful towards someone, I gradually take away all his material possessions, and his friends and relatives then reject him because of the poverty stricken. So Abhay, when he read this verse, he was very surprised, and he asked one of his godbrothers, like Srila Maharaj, and he said, is this really true? Is this what is happening with me? I'm losing my business, losing my job and everything. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, sorry, Srila Maharaj confirmed that, yes, that might be very well happening with Abhay. And so Abhay was, so now, the center in Bombay is established now. They have established a new center. And at the new center, opening ceremony, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had come. And at that time, Bhakti Saranga Maharaj, he told to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur that all this Bombay temple, Bombay center of Gaudiya Math was established by the funds raised with the help of Abhay Charan. And Abhay Charan should stay in the center with us. He was staying outside. He was not staying in the Gaudiya Math at that time. So Bhakti Saranga Maharaj asked that, okay, to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj, that make Abhay Charan as a temple president of Bombay temple and let him stay in the temple. At that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, when he came to install the deities at Bombay Center, then when he was asked that, okay, he asked Abhay Charan to stay in the temple and become the temple president, then Abhay Charan, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, it is better that he's living outside your company. So he said, better he lives outside. He will do, when the time comes, he will do everything himself. You don't have to recommend him. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, somehow or other, he knew that when the time will come, Abhay Charan will do much than anybody else. So he didn't insist Abhay Charan to stay in the temple. He said, okay, Abhay Charan, you stay wherever you are and do whatever work you are doing. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur exactly knew. And then there was another Vrindavan Yatra in 1935 where Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Maharaj had come for the Kartik and Radhakund, and Abhay Charan Arvinda at that time, who were taking initiation now. This is third visit to Vrindavan, second visit in Vrindavan with his Guru Maharaj, but now Abhay Charan is with his son, Prayagraj, his son. You can see that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Abhay Charan Arvind, and his son, all of them, they came to take darshan of Srila Prabhupada. So now during the meeting with Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, there was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to say that there was a deep fight within the members of Gaudiya Math. And he was always concerned about that. Abhay Charan was concerned that if they were fighting now, what would they do after the spiritual master passes away? And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said to Abhay Charan that Agum Juvalabe, there will be fire. One day there will be fire in Calcutta Gaudiya Math. And that fire of party interest would spread and destroy whole Gaudiya Math. And there was a lot of fight. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur used to lament. Srila Prabhupada said he was lamenting that these men are simply after the stones and bricks of the building. He condemned. He was very, very sorry about that. And he said that even that it would be better to take the marble from the walls and secure the money. If I could do this and print book, that would be much better. So he said that if you ever get money, Abhay Charan, then you print the books. Amar ichha shila kichubai karan. I had a desire to print some books. If you ever get the money, print the books, print the books, print the books. And then in 1936, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati was in poor health at Jagannath Puri, and Abhay was in Mumbai. And he wanted to write a letter to his Guru Maharaj. He is little kind upon me. Abhay Charan thought he will understand my request, and he began to write. And here is a letter Abhay Charan wrote to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, Vidura Prabhu, you want to read this letter?
Sure, Prabhuji. Service. Dear Guru Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. You have got many disciples, and I am one of them, but they are doing direct service to you. Some of them are brahmacharis, Some of them are brahmacharis, some of them are sannyasis, but I am a householder. I cannot. Sometimes I give monetary help while I cannot give you direct service. Is there any particular service I can do?
Yeah, so that was the last letter Srila Prabhupada wrote. 2 weeks before Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was about to disappear from this world, material world, Prabhupada Abhay Charan wrote a letter to him, and he said, I am a householder, what can I do for you? Can I do some seva to you? And at that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur replied, I am confident that you can explain in English our thoughts and arguments to the people who are not conversant with the language of other members. This will do much good to yourself as well as your audience. I have every hope that you can turn yourself into a very good English preacher if you serve the mission to inculcate the novel impression of Lord Sri Chaitanya's teachings in the people in general, as well as philosophers and religionists. So this was the reply coming from Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur to Abhay Charan. So the same message in the first meeting, 1922, first meeting, he gave the same message. You are the young man, speak, take this message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in English to everybody all over the world. And same message Abhay Charan is getting in this writing. So now Abhay Charan Arvinda got the message that this is the only task he has been given by his Guru Maharaj to spread the message of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all over the world in English language. And Prabhupada took it to his heart and soul actually. So in January 1st, 1937, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was very, very sick. And the doctors were coming to give him some injection. At that time, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said, why are you disturbing me in this way? Simply chant Hare Krishna, that's all. So he said, don't give me any injections or anything, don't disturb me, I want to just chant. And on that day, January 1st, 1937, 5:30 a.m. in the morning, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left the material world. But then last instruction, which Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left for all of us, is that our ultimate goal shall be to become the dust of the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Raghunath Goswami. You should all work conjointly under the guidance of your spiritual master and with a view to serve absolute knowledge and personality of Godhead. You should live somehow or other without any quarrel in this mortal world, only for the service of Godhead. Do not please give up the service of Godhead in spite of all the dangers, all criticism, and all discomforts. Do not be disappointed, for most people in the world do not serve the personality of Godhead. So these are some of the last instructions of Guru Maharaj. Do not give up your service, which is your everything, and all, neither reject the process of chanting and hearing of all the transcendental message of Godhead. You shall always chant the transcendental names of Godhead with patience and forbearance, like a tree, and humble like a straw. Please accept my blessing to you all, present and absent. Please bear in mind that our sole duty and religion is to spread and propagate the service to Lord and His devotees. So, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur left the world for all of us, and Abhay Charan felt alone. His two great well-wishers were gone, his father and his spiritual master. So with that, we will pause today's readings here, and we'll continue our study of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the future. Prabhupada Leela next Saturday. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I know we have crossed 15-20 minutes over time, so I apologize for that, but this was a very interesting chapter. So thank you so much. Anybody has any questions, comments, they can do that.